Second, nobody's asleep today, so that's a good thing. All right.
Coach, one of your linebackers put on scholarship, Grant Moore. Just go over Grant and what he's meant to the program.
Well, I think you guys have been around here know that as well as I do. I mean, obviously, I'm excited for Grant. He's contributed to this program, well deserving of the scholarship, and I was glad that Coach Morse had a scholarship available for him. And he means a lot to us in terms of depth at linebacker, and he's a mighty fine young man. The thing that's special about it is this, that, had he not had gotten this scholarship, he'd still be doing the same thing because he loves Arkansas. And it's great to have young men like that in your program that, there's no question that they're playing for the love of the game. And he's a special young man.
I guess McClure got one as well.
Yep, and deserving in his situation, and would say the same thing. He'd still be playing whether he did or not. He's got an opportunity to help this football team in a big way, and we're looking forward to it, and certainly excited about him. And again, happy that this could happen for him. And financially, it does make a difference. It makes a difference for him, and both of those young men, as well as our kicker, are all deserving because they're going to make contributions to this football team this year.
Coach, I think you mentioned 60% of the teams you face are going to be maybe four wide and stuff. Can you talk about going ahead and just starting the first game this way and just what you expect out of Eastern Illinois?
Well, you expect some things, and then again, there's always the unexpected when you don't have film of this team running this offense. But you got years and years in it, and there's certain things that you got to prepare for. We thought early on that maybe there was a starting quarterback. I don't think they're going to name the starting quarterback. I think they're going to play both of them, which that's fine. We've seen that in other situations. There's some similarities and there's some differences. You got one quarterback that played at the junior college level for the same coordinator in this offense. And then you got another young man that's a very talented athlete, that's a good runner. There's not, when you start breaking down, his college snaps, there's not a tremendous amount, but it sounds like he's really taking on this offense. So we're expecting to see two quarterbacks, and we got to be prepared for that. Certainly a very good tailback, and what's new about that? Anytime you're playing in the SEC, you're going to play against a good tailback. So there's nothing new about that, but certainly, their coaching staff have been bragging on their tailbacks and the role that they have. We may see some two backs. We saw some of that scheme-wise from, watching the junior college film. They did that already, so we may see two backs, and we may see a lot of motion out of the backfield to try to, tip our hands or get us to tip our hands. So there's a lot of things that we know we may see, and then, but first game, you gotta expect, you gotta know the expected and expect the unexpected. I'll just put it that way.
Coach, their style of offense, are they up tempo or the pro style? What are they like?
Oh, they're up tempo. They're and they're and they're going to go fast. Like I said, that's what they do, and they want to snap the ball as quick as they possibly can. And it's our challenge, and we've had good work versus our own offense. Our challenge is to have our cleats in the ground. To understand our assignments, to play with great eye discipline, to read our keys and go where our keys take us. And, that's football. Only thing is speed it up a little bit, which means the communication has to be speeded up a little bit, but that's not new either. We've been doing that all spring and all fall practice.
I saw Michael Taylor listed at one of the DNs. Just what has his camp been like, and what type of expect heavy rotation at the end spots?
Absolutely, and at tackle too. I mean, let's be real. When you're playing an up-tempo offense, it's all about snap numbers, and that's what it gets down to. And there's games that you look at and you see defenses that play well for 2.5, 3 quarters, and if you don't keep them rested, then the fourth quarter can get you beat. There's no question about that. So, like I said this a couple of weeks ago, we got 4, maybe 5, and maybe a 6th end that we're going to play in this game, and we're going to play 6, maybe a 7th tackle in this game. We're going to try to keep them fresh. Obviously, we want to play well early, but the fourth quarter is going to be important. There's no question about that. And it also builds depth and it also builds confidence in your players. We don't want the first time that they have to play to be late in the fourth quarter when we're trying to win a football game. If we do our job as well as we need to, if we got to try to win a game in the fourth quarter, hopefully we're going to have our best guys out there. And not saying that there's a big difference between guys that we're going to be rotating, because if we rotate them and we're putting them out there, then we think they're far enough along that they're ready to play.
And what did Taylor do in camp?
He did a good job. Not only Taylor, but I mean, when you start looking at Gabe Richards, and you start looking at Randy Ramsey, and you start looking at Bell, those are all those guys have performed well for us. And then the same thing with those 6 guys that we're going to play inside. They've all performed well. Certainly, there's certain things that some of them do better than others, and I'm not going to point those out. I'm not going to give anybody a scouting report on them.
Hey, Chief, I guess you got 4 newcomers on your 2 deep, 3 true freshmen. How do you feel about those guys, and how do you feel about the defense overall going into the opener? And who'd be your number 2 nickel behind McClure?
Dalton and Munson, first of all, and at corner, and listen, this, where we are right now. This scene could change after this game, after the next game, but we certainly feel like we've had good preparation, and that's the key. How they respond under pressure, and certainly we're going to find out a lot more about it on Saturday. Because we've been seeing our offense, and quite honest with you. You get tired of going against the same folks in practice the whole time. You get a fresh attitude when you get ready to play a game. So, we're going to see, exactly where we are in this football game. And it's hard for me to say, hey, I know exactly where we are. We're going against a whole new offense that's learning a whole new system. We're a defense that's learning a new system. I think we're in a good place. I think we got to get better. I think we got to get better tomorrow at practice, and we got to get better Wednesday at practice. And then it's still not ready then. You got to polish it up on Thursday and Friday, and you got to get everything ready to go, and then you got to go play well. And a big part of that is the mental preparation. And certainly, we've we've discussed it with our players very thorough. You can be physical, you can have all the attributes that you need to play, but if you're not mentally prepared to play, then it's going to be difficult to play as well as you can. And certainly, we're going to continue to work that end of it too.
One more for you.
Coach Morris talked about going into the new facility to the north of the stadium. Just your thoughts, and what did you think when you saw it, and in the locker room, and just everything about it, Coach?
Well, obviously, have you guys had a chance to see it? I mean, it's outstanding. I mean, that's what you look at, and certainly, it was done right. I mean, it's big time. There's no question about that, and certainly those kind of things help you in recruiting. Hopefully, the players feel really, really good about it. But ultimately, you got to have facilities. You got to have facilities to be able to recruit, and I don't think players around the country will go in a better game day locker room than we've got here at Arkansas.